W, and the hits just keep on coming.
Welcome back to the Food City 500. We're live at Bristol, Tennessee. Remember, NASCAR taking a break next week for the Easter holiday weekend, but we'll be back live from Texas beginning Friday, April 5th with Winston Cup qualifying. That's at Fox Sports Net. Then Saturday, April 6th on FX, Winston Cup practice, followed by Busch Series racing presented by Old Spice, and that's on Fox. Then Sunday, April 7th, start your race day with NASCAR This Morning, presented by Smirnoff Ice on Fox Sports Net, followed by the Samsung Radio Shack 500 on Fox, pre-race show on the NASCAR Victory Lane All Access. Sterling Marlin on Fox Sports Net is the Fox Network's your home for NASCAR. Jeff Hammond, earlier you talked about this being a concrete track and how the temperatures sometimes change things. In fact, it was John Andretti who said, the guy who poured this, I wouldn't let him pour my driveway. But we were talking with Richard Childress beforehand with our 8th caution getting ready to go green. As they do go green, he said that they're going to have to change, Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the lead, going to have to change the corners and repave them in the future here.
Yeah, he really thought the corners were more square and need to be rounded where guys could transition. We've seen it several times. Guys kind of cutting that corner, getting their left sides down on the apron. He'd like to see that transition smoother, where the guys can drive a little lower and get in the corners and kind of slide up a little bit. Would help them a lot, as well as the exits.
One of the reasons we're on pace for what would be a record 23 cautions. Earnhardt Jr., who started 23rd, your leader. Mark Martin behind him. He started 37th. Let's go back upstairs. Darrell Waltrip, Larry McReynolds, and Mike Joy.
Thanks, Chris. Jeff Gordon stays on the lead lap, but that car it's maintaining speed, but it's not going to be a contender, and it's pretty badly damaged.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure they're going to rebuild this racetrack to make Richard Childress happy when there's 160,000 people back here.
And I'm corrected. We're showing Gordon as one lap down.
One lap.
Right. Matt?
Well, Mike, let's talk to Robbie Lewis. Jeff Gordon's crew chief. Robbie, how bad's the damage? Is the hose kinked?
Scoring pretty good in the back end. You know, we're just going to try to ride it out, get a caution here, try to get it.
Jeff Gordon entered Bristol looking for his 5th win here, but more importantly, trying to get some momentum. He hasn't had a top 5 finish since he won Kansas last year.
Longest streak of his career without a top 5.
And that's the side the track bar is on, and so it's trailing arm's probably bent. I can't imagine it didn't run the drive pole up in there and rubbing into the back of the transmission.
And Darrell, the biggest problem he has right now, we talked about it a lot earlier, is just getting out of the way of the leaders.
Yeah.
There's just nowhere to get out of the way.
Oh, you ride up high there. The only thing he's going to help do is clean off that top groove.
Now there's Kenny Schrader, who did not stop on either of the last 2.
Whoa, look at Tony Stewart down on the apron.
Yo, Tony, hang on, buddy.
He was going to try to sneak up there and take that position away from Rusty Wallace.
More on Rusty, Dick Berggren.
Rusty Wallace won his first Winston Cup race here. He won his 50th Winston Cup race here. And Billy Wilburn told him that he thinks they got a car good enough to win the next Winston Cup race here. They have had consistently good pit stops today. They put a round in fight in that last pit stop. The car is nearly perfect. Steve.
Well, Dick, Kevin Harvick on the last pit stop, he said he wanted more grip off the corner. They took 4 tires and went down half a pound in the right rear. But team owner Richard Childress is a little concerned on the last caution. Came out. Somebody got into Kevin Harvick. Richard asked Jeff Green, his teammate, to go over and take a look at the car to make sure it's okay. A little concerned that Kevin Harvick can.
Dale Earnhardt Jr., your leader. John Andretti, way in big trouble up between turns 3 and 4. Might have cut down a tire, but he's way off the pace now.
Yeah, he can't get to the bottom of the racetrack to get the pit road. He can't get out of the way. It's just hard. It's like a conveyor belt right now of race cars.
Well, they call this Thunder Valley, but after your car is torn up like that, it becomes the Lonesome Valley. He'll have to do something to that 24 car. He can't. He got to pick it up a little bit.
NASCAR's told him to pick up the pace or get it off the racetrack. Matt?
Well, Mike, you're exactly right. His last lap was 18.55 seconds. In the drivers' meeting, NASCAR officials said the minimum speed, the time will be 18.01 seconds. You can see Gordon is definitely not below that, so they're definitely going to have to pick it up.
He's at 9 top 5s the last 14 races here. 12 top 10s in the last 14 races, but this will not be Jeff Gordon's day. Only 300 or so laps to go, DW, and we've only had, what, 8 wrecks so far?
Yeah, it's going to thin out here in a few minutes. They're They're getting kind of spread out a little bit and get into a long green here, I hope.
Now there's Gordon Speed versus the race leader, Earnhardt Jr.
And Jeff Gordon's barely running at the end of the straightaway what Dale Earnhardt Jr. is running down in the middle of the corner.
NASCAR times the slow cars electronically. They time all the cars electronically. So there's no guesswork as to whether he's maintaining minimum race pace or not.
And how they come up with that is they take a percentage of how fast the cars qualify, and they'll tell them at the driver's meeting, you must maintain this particular lap speed to remain on the racetrack.
Okay, Joe Nemechek, a victim of a crash with Hut Strickland. Here's Steve.
Thanks, Mike. Joe, tell us what happened and can you get back in this race?
I'm not sure what exactly happened. I got to take responsibility for it because I was a faster car. You know, just trying to race lap cars and trying to get around them and trying to get it behind him. The 23 car got into me somewhere. I don't know if I got cut down on him or he got me. But it's a shame. Best car I ever had here. These guys working their hearts out, trying to get a sponsor nailed down. Car was fast. You know, you just got to finish, and we didn't do it.
Behind the wall, Nemechek, Hut Strickland, and Johnny Benson. Work continues on all those cars.
Now, guys, the other problem Jeff Gordon, Robbie Loomis, that group has, if they don't get up to that required speed, they come to pit road or to the garage area to fix the car. NASCAR gives them one chance to get back out there. If you don't maintain the speed then, they tell you to lower the gate on the truck and load it.
Right, none of this in and out of the garage area and keep working on it. Look at this streak, Darrell. No top fives in the last 13 races.
Yeah, and you can see the problem with the slow cars running high. When they come off the corner, he's in the way.
At one point, Gordon came off the corner and they were 3 wide, and fortunately everybody gave everyone just enough room.
Now the problem with him running low is everybody's running low. So, you know, there's really nowhere for a wounded car to go.
We see the 24 crew there just a second ago. That's called the crash cart. It almost has every component that's on that race car on that car.
Well, I know, Larry, you would probably tell me stay out there as long as you can, and then we're going to bring it in and work on it. Because, you know, maybe you catch another caution or whatever might happen. But stay out there as long as you can, and we're going to bring you in and work on it.
I'm going to keep asking you, everything feel okay? And I'm going to make you stay out there until you tell me, Larry, I can't drive it no more. And NASCAR says, you got to fix it.
It'd be probably the NASCAR side that would get us.
Second to Dale Earnhardt Jr. is Mark Martin, then Ryan Newman. And how about Ward Burton, who had that electrical problem, got a lap down earlier 2 cautions ago. He got that lap back, and he's in 4th place.
That is proof that never give up. And what we're hearing is they had a brake blower. They run blowers on the brakes that cool the brakes. One of those shorted out and caused the battery to have a problem. I mean, here's a guy that was a lap down, almost 2 laps down. They make the repairs, and Tommy Baldwin, his crew chief, he's the king of staying out. They elected to stay out, and here they are in 4th position.
Yeah, we got Ryan Newman up in 3rd place talking about this guy's, he's pretty awesome. He's up there in 3rd place, minding his own business, and not too far back there in 5th place, our buddy Kurt Busch. So a couple of our young buddies are up there racing hard.
And a lot of this all has to do with pit stop sequencing. This group right here was in the pits a lot sooner than some of the fellows who were running behind them. And so there are 2 different sequences of pit stops going on here.
And again, the fear I always have, I like getting off sequence, but what if we go green? What if we stay green for a long, long time?
You're going to lose 2-3 laps.
I'm going to lose time having to pit under green.
But what that top 5 wants right now, Earnhardt Jr., Martin, Newman, Burton, and Busch, they want a fairly long green run where if the caution comes out, everybody has to pit and not just those guys.
And even it all up.
Well, it's the game you play in the pits. And that's why you see sometimes you're up front leading, sometimes you're back in the middle of the pack fighting for your life.
Early leader Jimmy Spencer now finds himself in 9th place. Jeff Gordon, who led from the pole, is back in 33rd. 9th caution of the day, lap 209, coming off turn 4. Tony Stewart just nudged the back of Ryan Newman. Newman caught it, lost it, and then the turn 1 wall caught it.
It's the dreaded wall. You were away. I know. What happened.
Folks, we hate it as much as you do.
Oh, man.
Not as much as Ryan Newman does right now.
No.
He comes in here 2nd in points.
Won't leave here 2nd.
Probably not.
No, he's got the radiator. He's going to have to go behind the wall and do some work. Watch why this starts off at turn 4 down here. Tony's all over there. He's been beside of him once before. Ryan got way, way down on the flat. Tony gives him a little push. Looked like he's got it saved. Then around she goes. He stays in the gas. That's what all that smoke is.
Oof.
Probably should have backed out of it because it shot it straight up into the wall.
And then along comes Rick Mast and Jeff Green. They get part of it. Sterling Marlin, remember last week he dodged the big wreck?
Car spinning up on the front, high side up here on the high side. Watch him spinning up here. Stay low. Stay low. Come on. Stay low. Watch that 12. Watch that 12. Go, 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 go.
He dodged another one.
Yeah, he got in the back of the 99, but it didn't hurt anything.
Far right of your screen, Mast and Jeff Green. Trying to take evasive action, become part of the wreck.
Jeff Green's lucky. He didn't. I don't think he hit anything. I think he just spun, and I think Mast may have just spun as well.
Michael Waltrip got a lap back from the leader as they ran to the caution, as did John Andretti. Here's Dick.
Well, the nose of Ryan Newman's car is absolutely flat. The radiator is broken. He left a lot of water on pit road. There's about none in here right now. They've got the crash cart over here. They're going to have to rebuild this car. He had been running in third place before he found the wall. Tonight.
Well, Dick, Jeff Gordon has also parked his car behind the pit. Tony Gibson and the boys are unhooking the damaged deck lid. They're going to replace it with a new one, also trying to work on the hoses inside for the fuel system. Remember, Jeff Gordon's crew chief Robbie Loomis told you that they did have some damage back there as well, as Tony Gibson has the Sawzall trying to cut off the rear fascia. Jeff.
One of the things we're seeing here, folks, is the fact that all these bars, when they hit into these cars, if you don't have enough bar in behind here to protect your radiator, it gets shoved back in to the rest of the engine area. Bust the radiator, you've got to come in and fix it if you want to continue to run. Just noticed a little while ago, we saw several guys from the 24 car guys run and come get some more parts as far as the rear deck lid. As you can see, right here's the radiator that they're replacing right now on Ryan Newman's car. And we're going to go back here to the back of the car, and I'm going to show you some of the damaged area that's on the 24 car. One of the things they're trying to do is reestablish the downforce. We keep talking about grip off this corner. When you lose this rear spoiler, it even has an effect here at Bristol. This is the one thing about aerodynamics. You've got to have a little bit of downforce to make the car bite up off the corner. So they've come down to the garage area, took the deck lid off the backup car, and when they come in to make repairs, they'll change that deck lid out to try to help Jeff Gordon continue this race. And the way things are going, he still may have a decent day. What do you think, Steve?
Well, Jeff, Dale Earnhardt Jr. came down pit road. He said, the car's pretty good, but I'm a little bit tight. Their adjustment, they took a strip of tape. You can see it's numbered 1. Danny Earnhardt just pulled it off the grill, and that was their adjustment here on pit road.
Well, one of the problems they're going to have too, Jeff, that damage is all on the left rear there. And while you're at the deck lid back there, maybe you could show the folks at home the filler neck and all that they're trying to replace so they can put fuel in that car as well.
Okay, Darrell. Right now, you can see this is the filler neck when it's in the car like it's supposed to. Nice straight shot down into the fuel cell. This right here is the overflow vent that lets everybody know that the car is full of fuel. What they've done, they've damaged all this. They've ripped this here loose. I'll show you if this doesn't come loose. You can see it dangling here. This is the catch deal. What they've got to try to do is try to straighten this back out, reestablish it so they can also get the car back full of fuel, but they've got to get this tied down so it's not flopping around, spilling fuel on the racetrack and creating a safety issue. They've got a lot of work to do if they want to get this car back in the race safely.
But they did wait till the caution came out. They rode around there, they got a caution, now they're going to work on it.
Bristol Motor Speedway, the used sheet metal supermarket of NASCAR. 216 laps complete, hardly any of them without incident. Nine caution flags for 54 laps. Jeff Gordon's crew